Now, the UK government has asked energy firms to delay the closure of UK coal-fired power plants that were due to close this autumn because of concerns over energy security linked to the war in Ukraine. Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng wrote to EDF, Drax and Uniper this month requesting they temporarily extend the operation of their coal-fired plants, which they used for backup generation. Only in November at the COP26 summit in Glasgow, ministers were telling the world, not least environmental campaigners, that the UK had cut coal use sharply to tackle climate change. 10 years ago, coal-fueled power stations generated around a third of all UK electricity. The share now is minimal ordinarily, but still enough for the government to request coal-fired generation to carry on. Since the war in Ukraine, the dangers of curtailed energy supplies from Russia, they've introduced a harder edge to UK energy policy, one that environmentalists may not like. The government's moved to licence the development of new North Sea fields, for instance. Since peaking in the late 1990s, UK oil and gas production has fallen around 2/3. Despite complaints from green activists, ministers now want oil and gas companies to raise North Sea production. Yet at the same time, the Treasury's looking for money. After last month's spring statement, Chancellor Rishi Sunak was criticised for not doing more to help low-income households struggling with energy bills. He did cut duty on petrol and diesel in that spring statement, but there have been concerns energy companies aren't always passing those cuts on to motorists. For some weeks now, Labour have been calling for a windfall tax on large oil and gas companies. And soaring oil and gas prices linked to war in Ukraine do mean energy sector profit forecasts are up by around 30% this year and 20% in 2023. But ministers have rejected the idea, saying a windfall tax would discourage investment in both North Sea fields and renewables. Now, though, Chancellor Rishi Sunak has possibly changed his mind. Talking to the Mumsnet website, he said such investments need to be made because if we don't see that type of investment coming forward, if companies aren't going to make investments in our energy security, of course, a windfall tax is something that I'd look at. Energy companies already pay additional taxes to access UK oil and gas fields. Plus, corporation tax paid by all firms is set to rise from 19% to 25% last year. As petrol and diesel prices increase, though, along with household utility bills, a windfall tax may seem politically attractive. But it could deter investment, undermining the UK's energy security and generating less tax overall. And that's our on-the-money question today. Does an energy windfall tax make economic sense?